All right, angels, it's symbolic. This is in response. How you doing? This is in response to your video called "Peace Treaty" on YouTube. The video's about you and me and T-Mod. Oh, by the way, thank you for putting my name in the search tags. Hey, angels, man. You know that when this conflict first broke out, I tried to resolve it, and at that time, it seemed that where the sticking point were apologies. Apologies are always sensitive, and they can become sticking points, you know. And of course, time has passed now, and a lot of videos have been made, and you know, it gets stickier and stickier as time goes by. And then, you know, recently, you and I have been talking and communicating by personal message since the conflict began. And you had recently sent me this email, Angels, that said that, you know, this didn't bring joy to your heart, and, you know, maybe some mutual apologies could be worked out, and we could show everybody that things could be resolved, and that would be great. And you'd mentioned that you had a lot of people criticizing you, people supporting you as well, but there were some people hounding you, and I was saying, yeah, well, they're hounding T-Mod too, and we agreed that this was not good for the council. And, you know, I was the one who suggested a sort of peace declaration, because I didn't think, since apologies, mutual apologies had been the sticking point before, you know, I reasoned that maybe just a declaration of peace would be good. That way, you know, from there, maybe later, I thought deeper reconciliation could take place. But in the meantime, just, you know, everybody declare peace and you know, start there. So I suggested that, you know. Now, if I failed in that, I'm sorry, you know. It was a judgment call. I didn't know whether going into mutual apologies, I was afraid that that would create more, you know, that would be a sticking point again. So I spoke to you. I said I would go to T-Mod. I spoke to T-Mod. T-Mod was open to a declaration of peace, and we talked about it, and I've kind of brokered these sort of conflict resolutions before, where everybody just takes down their videos about each other. So I recommended that. I came back to you. I said, hey, T-Mod is open to a peace, the idea of peace, and here's what we would do. He would take down all his videos about you. You would take down all his videos about him and about the Council of 12. Anything that mentions them in the search tags, because, you know, those appear, and I believe the title, or the video, or description box, what have you, but we would take all those down. And then also, I had pointed out that there were people that were just feeding the conflict and standing by throwing gasoline on the conflict, and the important thing was to resolve it so as not to give these sort of gasoline, arsonists, you know, emotional arsonists, any more fodder, so that they could take what was essentially a conflict between two guys who were friends and just throw gasoline on it and you know, just watch it. Just try to watch it flare up, because I didn't think that that was honorable of them, and I just thought that that was actually cowardly behavior of them. You know, they're kind of like parasites off other people's conflicts, and I think that's kind of what we were talking about. So the idea was take all that stuff down, the videos down, so it wouldn't generate these you know, attract these sort of conflict arsonist third parties who had nothing to do with the original misunderstanding between you and T-Mod. So the idea was both of you guys pull your videos down, and then also when people would try to tempt you into going back into the conflict in comments, both of you would simply say, I have made peace. You know, T-Mod would say, I have made peace with Angels. Angels would say, I have made peace with T-Mod, and that would, you know, we would all resist any temptation to provide any more fodder or flame for these guys to throw gasoline on. So that was the idea. Pull down the videos, anything that had any, you know, that talked about each other, that referenced each other in the titles or the description boxes or the search tags where these things could pop up. You sent me an email saying terms accepted. you know, and you said that you had, you know, somehow taken down some of the videos that night, but you were really tired. You weren't sure you had gotten them all, and for me to let you know if you had missed any. So I said, fine, I'll be happy to let you know if you've missed any. And we talked about that a couple of times, and I told T-Mott you thought the thing was great. You agreed to do all that. He took down his videos. He took down 4 videos immediately as a sign of good faith. I also took down a video that wasn't about the conflict between you guys. It was about some other conflict, but involving the council. And but I thought that I would follow your guys' lead and show my good faith as a mediator and conflict resolution creature, and so I took mine down. I didn't get a chance to actually go through and check your videos like I promised you I would until just was it last night, I think, and I actually found a lot of them. So I sent you the list of them, and I noticed that a couple of them were set to private. And I think you had mentioned to me before that you had set some of the council, the ones you had done about the council of 12, you'd set those to private. So I sent you the list on the one site, and I told you, hey, you know, I finally got around to it, and here are the ones that I found, and you know, these should be removed, and I recommend you to take the private ones down too, since the agreement was to take the agreement was to take down videos, not to you know, make them private. Plus they were still showing up in the search engines, and they were still showing up attached to other videos, even though they were private, and you know, the title had T-Mott's username in it. So that's what I recommended. And I told you that I was also very tired because I had to look at all those videos. It took me a couple, 2-3 hours. I've invested a lot of time in this, as well as during the initial conflict resolution stages when the conflict first broke out. So then I got your email or personal message this morning saying that you basically been thinking about it and you changed your mind. So at that point I just went, whoa, you know, we were so close to at least laying a foundation for reconciliation, and you know, maybe a foundation for deeper reconciliation later, that it all just fell apart. So I wrote to you. You said you weren't going to take any of them down. In fact, you were going to make the private ones public again, but that you wouldn't make any new videos, but you were going to leave the old videos up, plus make the private ones public again. So I said, so be it, angels, but you know, you might want to, if you want to leave them up, you know, you might want to remove T-Mott's name from the tags, search tags, and the titles. That way you could still partially live up to the agreement that was made with some sort of substance. And then I suppose I made the mistake of talking about, you know, we have to, you know, it's an agreement, we have to keep our word. I perhaps offended you with that. And so now you've done 2 or 3 more videos, and we're back to the same cycle again. So, I mean, and now you're saying you weren't going to get anything out of the agreement. The idea was that what everybody would mutually gain out of the agreements is it would stop providing flame for the third-party emotional arsonist to throw gasoline on. You would benefit from it, and T-Mott would benefit from it. Everybody would mutually benefit from it. Everybody on the council too, because you know, you may know your videos. Some of them, well, they've just harmed the council beyond harming T-Mott. You know, not irreparable harm. The council goes on. We're doing our 10th show on Saturday, and we're going to keep going. You know, but still, it's a distraction. And look how much time I've put into it. So anyway, I'm extremely disappointed that the talks fell through. If apologies are really what it's going to take to resolve this, then I would recommend that you guys just make a simple apology and not start stipulating what needs to be apologized for. Just say, you know, man to man, I'm sorry, you know, and I'm sorry. Keep it real simple. Make a simple apology, because my concern, angels, at this is just going to keep going and keep going. There'll be either endless negotiations, and things will again escalate over misunderstandings, or people will misunderstand each other, or people will demand apologies for these things, and the other person will say, oh, well, okay, well, I'll apologize for these 3 but not these 5. You know, and it will freeze again. So if apologies are what needs to be done. And if you're willing to apologize and Tiamat is willing to apologize, I say just keep it very simple. Each of you just say, I'm sorry. And as you suggested before, do it in private so we're out of the public sphere. Anyway, I'm out of time, but I hope it works out. And if I failed as a mediator or conflict resolution guy by not going towards the apology thing right from the beginning, my apologies to you both and to everyone, because I really thought that it would sort of be a stumbling block. It was before. Anyway, that's the story, my friend. Love you. Love Tiamat too. Love you both. Don't know why. Why do we love anybody? We don't know why. It's not rational. We just love people. So anyway, love you. Take care. Bye-bye.